Rigert knew he should have brought more mead. Hello! Rigert was just asking this merchant which mound of colored powder he should eat first. Rigert says red. Merchant says please go away. We find ourselves as stalemates. But Rigert has bigger problems than what to eat for lunch. As soon as Rigert returned home from successful diplomatic endeavoring, the Skald King sent him to elsewhere with gifts for the cats. Rigert is always given the most important, most faraway missions. Problem is, Rigert lost the gifts. So many ways. First, a courier brought Rigert's package to Riverhold instead of Rimmen. Then, as our ship was boarding, a werebear attacked and stole honey needed for my special sweetbread. Last and not least, Rigert's famous minstrels are missing. Thank you, friend. Retrieve Rigert's package from Thedara in the Riverhold marketplace and meet me after in the Stitches. Rigert's diplomacy waits for no man, or woman, or cat. But be careful. Sweaty threats fill elsewhere's deserts. The finest coats in all of Skyrim. A gift for Canon Reeve Jusdo to make peace between the Nords and Khajiit. Rigert would already have them if his courier wasn't completely incontinent. The package was delivered to Thedara in Riverhold Marketplace. It's impossible to find Windhelm-worthy honey in elsewhere, but this cat merchant says honey flowers from Merryvale Moon sugar farms will work for baking sweetbread. Rigert's cooking is sure to make peace between the Nords and Khajiit. Rigert hired Skyrim's best band, the Screaming Mammoths, to play for Lady Issa. She has great influence with the cats, so Rigert needs to gain her favors to clinch peace between our peoples. Last Rigert heard, the band was at Valenwood Gate.
Filthy, sour criminals. They'll be sorry.
Come. Don't forget to check back regularly, Walker.
We're grateful for your help in culling the dragons aren't exact mudcrab.
Why this one? Why?
You are looking...
Some dungy wizard placed a hex on many of the relics. The
Have you ever strong? Many Khajiit have a...
What is to become of me?
something about the water, Silujo. If you would just...
No adept can face the wastes alone, child. This one insists you stay.
Vasby cannot understand. Only puddles remain in the Adeptorium cisterns, but still Silujo forbids this one to act. Our Adeptorium, Srendar's cradle, is parched by a drought. We rely on the Anequina aqueduct to supply our water, but something halted the flow. Now adepts and pilgrims go thirsty. We tend to the sick here. Without water, many of them may die. No, and we never will if Silujo gets his way. He yowls about the risks, but Vasby is not the saucer-eyed kitten she was when Silujo found her. This one must fix this. You're a warrior, yes? Would you escort Vasby to investigate the aqueduct? Thank you for helping, Rook. We should investigate the nearest gate of the aqueduct, just south of here. Srendar willing, we will find whatever blocks the water there. Vasby will meet you soon. This one must speak to Silujo before she leaves. No. My teachers examined the Order's histories and found no evidence of droughts in the past. But we live in curious times, yes? Dragons fly, dead walk. A broken aqueduct would not seem out of place. Vasby does not think so. Before the water reaches Srendar's cradle, it passes Rimen. And for all the city's problems, a drought is not one of them. That means the flow is blocked somewhere between the city and the Adeptorium. The Adeptorium itself? I know only that our ancestors built it in the days of 16 kingdoms. Vasby has no ears for ancient history. This one does know that the Adeptorium has always been a place of healing, a refuge for all, no matter how ill. We do what we can, but Vasby fears it is not enough. Many come with seared flesh and blackened lungs, from the flames and smoke, you see. Others come with broken limbs. Most of our palliatives and salves require water, so you see the urgency, yes? About Vasby? Oh, this one's life is not so exciting, but if you insist. Vasby is an initiate and servant of Srendar. A healer in training also. Silujo and the other monks raised this one here in the cradle. Most learn the craft, but not all have the passion for it that this one does. Silujo says it is Vasby's calling. This one thinks he is right. Yes, Vasby's parents had... This was in the time of the flu, you see. Many orphans came to Srendar's cradle in those days. Most of them were not as lucky as Vasby. Silujo cared for this one like a daughter. He still does, as you can see. No, this was not so long ago, Walker. You remember the groans and hacking coughs, yes? The blood? Srendar's cradle's adepts healed as many as they could, but even the strongest tinctures and cleanest bandages fell short in the face of the flu. I found it. We should examine the gate at the top of the ramp. Open and dry, as expected. Hopefully we'll find the blockage at the second gate.
Perhaps a direct approach would be the... Well, look at that. If it isn't Nayu's little hero, who'd have thought we'd meet again? In Elsewhere, of all places. You wouldn't happen to be traveling to the town of Hakoshé, would you? I'm investigating a rumor about the town's leader, Magnate Faina Darak. Word has it that she's a descendant of the Akaviri potentate. A rather curious rumor, given that the potentate's bloodline should have been wiped out over a century ago. It's a personal matter pertaining to my grandfather's legacy. Painful as it is to say, my family's reputation depends on proving this rumor false. You wouldn't happen to be looking for work, would you? I could... Why don't you begin by speaking to the lady in question? The magnate should be in the town square. Strike up a conversation and see what she reveals. In the meantime, I'll begin my own investigation. See what I can dig up. Hakoshé was built after the fall of the Akaviri potentate. It's been... let's see now. A little over 100 years now? Yes, right around that. The town was founded by the Akaviri refugees who fled during that time. The Akaviri come from the land of Akavir, a continent east of Tamriel. They first invaded Tamriel in the First Era, but were ultimately convinced to join the Empire. Hakoshé is populated by their descendants. Yes, the Akaviri took the fall of the potentate as a rather obvious sign that they were no longer welcomed in Cyrodiil. Many of them fled to elsewhere. Hakoshé is but one of the settlements that was founded. I suppose that's a matter of perspective. After all, generations of imperial marriages have considerably thinned the bloodline. Still, Hakoshé does strive to maintain Akaviri culture and customs, starting with the town's rather distinct name. Potentate Vesidouche began his political career as advisor to Emperor Riemann III. When the Emperor was assassinated, the potentate stepped up as Cyrodiil's leader. Very fortunate for Vesidouche, of course. He was Emperor in all but name. So goes the rumors, though nothing was ever proven. Unsurprisingly, an Akaviri on the Ruby Throne created conflict. The potentate was eventually assassinated himself. A few decades later, his heir was similarly slain. The Morag Tong, of course. Who else would be so competent? Following the death of potentate Severian Chorak and his heirs, a large number of Akaviri and their followers left Cyrodiil. Many wound up here and elsewhere. As an agent of the Morag Tong, my grandfather had the honor of executing the last remaining heir of the Akaviri potentate. But here's the tricky bit. My grandfather and the heir both disappeared during the attempt. The Morag Tong presumed them dead. If Magnate Faina Darak truly is the descendant of the potentate, It proves without a shadow of a doubt that my grandfather failed. And such failure would be a grave dishonor to my family name. That's why I'm keen to prove this rumor false. While I would just love to give you all the torrid details of my last few writs, I'm afraid that secrecy comes with the job description. Suffice it to say, I've kept myself busy. Decided to come for a bit of sightseeing. After all, I heard Hakkoshe is lovely this time of year. Perhaps. After all, the Morag Tong does like to keep me busy. But right now, what I need to do is gather information. Prove yourself useful, and I may be willing to share some further details.
I haven't been able to sleep all week. Please, can't you do something?
Of course. I'll have the town guards investigate tonight.
Thank you, Magnate Darak.
And who do we have here? Come, let us speak. Welcome to the town of Hakkoshe. I must say it is not often I see a new face. Have you perhaps come to take part in our festival? The Proving Festival, yes. Through a series of trials, the people of Hakkoshe must prove themselves to their ancestors. We do so by completing 3 trials, otherwise known as the 3 proofs. First, the Proof of Reverence calls on our ancestors to witness our deeds. Second, the Proof of Strength displays our might and bravery. Lastly, the Proof of Wisdom tests our knowledge and wit. Through these trials, we show our worth. Of course, I'm sure you too have ancestors you wish to honor. First, you must speak with Domitia Nasica. You'll find her just by the river. Listen well to her words, for she will guide you through your first trial. Let me know if you have any other questions. I realize that Hakkoshe can be quite the curiosity for travelers such as yourself. Nothing to worry about. Domitia just hasn't been sleeping well. She believes there's something prowling around her house at night. I suspect it to be just bad dreams. Of course, I'd never dismiss a citizen who seeks my aid. Having the town guards investigate will help ease Domitia's fears. That alone may be enough to stop her nightmares. And if the dreams continue, I'll make sure she's seen by a healer. Though Hakkoshe is known for its Akaviri ancestry, the truth is that our imperial bloodline runs far richer. Still, we honor our Akaviri ancestors by maintaining some of their customs. The Proving Festival is a shining example of that. The Proving Festival has not been celebrated since Hakkoshe was first founded. I didn't even know it existed until I found a first-hand account of the festival in my family's records. It's been quite the challenge getting everyone up to speed. I'm not sure. Perhaps the town just wasn't interested in celebrations when Hakkoshe was first founded. They were refugees, after all. You can read about it yourself if you're so inclined. I happen to have the book with me. I hold the title of Magnet, though I have no emperor who supports me. Still, my family has led Hakushe since its founding, and chose to take the title to reflect that role. It has been my honor to lead this town for over 10 years now, because it was our family who founded it. My ancestors wished to create a place of safety and peace, where Akaviri traditions could continue to be passed down and honored. A goal I still strive to respect to this day. Yes, as is my family's tradition. We tend to keep closer to our Akaviri heritage than most. I even speak a little of the language, though I suspect my accent is quite atrocious.
Oh, you're that traveler I saw earlier. Do you need something? Truly, that was certainly nice of her. Your first step is to complete the Proof of Reverence. This trial allows us to call upon our ancestors to watch over us, as we prove ourselves worthy of their name. With this paper lotus, write the names of your honored ancestors on its petals, and place the lotus in the river. This will allow it to float into the afterlife. Think of it like a calling card, a way to get your ancestors to pay attention. Return to me when you've completed your task. Oh, and feel free to ask any questions you may have. This is Hakoshe's first proving festival in over a century, after all. I'm sure you're just as curious as everyone else. Before we can prove ourselves to our ancestors, we must first get their attention. The paper lotus acts as a ceremonial letter of sorts. By placing it into the river, we allow it to be carried into the realm of the dead. Yes, it is. The Akaviri believe that all waterways connect the realms of the living and dead. There are many folktales about boats being lost in heavy fog, and landing on shores filled with restless spirits. I used to, when I was little. Whenever I would go jump in a puddle, my mother would yell, "Stop that! You'll fall right into the afterlife." Truthfully, though, she just didn't want my dress to get muddy. Excited, of course. Honestly, I'm shocked we gave up the tradition in the first place. No one even remembered the festival existed until the magnate found an old record about it. Our town doesn't have much wealth or power, but we do take pride in our ancestry. Learning about our Akaviri culture and celebrating it is important to us. And the Proving Festival is the perfect way to do just that. Before we can prove ourselves to our ancestors, we must first get their attention. The paper lotus acts as a ceremonial letter of sorts. By placing it into the river, we allow it to be carried into the realm of the dead. Yes, it is. The Akaviri believe that all waterways connect the realms of... Through this proof, you have shown reverence. Well done. Next is the proof of strength. You'll need to... I am sorry. I'm just so tired today. There's been a lot of strange noises at night lately, and I haven't slept very well. You overheard that? Ah, well, yes. I've started hearing noises at night. Heavy breathing, uneven footsteps that seem to shuffle about. At first I thought I was dreaming it all. But now I am not too sure. I don't, though the magnate has promised to send a patrol out tonight. Hopefully they'll find whatever it is. But you've got a proof to complete. Head over to Vectrasi for your next task. He's just a little ways west of here, right up the hill. Good luck with the proof of strength, and let me know if you need anything.
What can I do for you, traveler? You wish to prove yourself before your ancestors. Very well. To the north lies a cave wherein beautiful sugar daisies grow. Bring me one, and you will have proved your strength. Ah, didn't I mention? The cave also happens to be a cinch lion lair, and I doubt the beasts will be particularly fond of your intrusion. Best of luck, traveler. Make sure to keep your senses about you. Cinch lions aren't beasts to take lightly. The Akaviri have always placed a great emphasis on martial prowess. The proof of strength shows our ancestors that we remain strong and are prepared to face any danger that may befall us. The greatest. Akaviri warriors are known for both their might and magic. It was only because of their aid that General Riemann was able to pacify all of Tamriel under his rule. Why, it was Akaviri who founded the Dragon Guard. Proud warriors who formed the Dragonborn Riemann's personal guard. Unfortunately, they seem to have disbanded after the Akaviri potentate fell. I still think they're around, though, waiting for their moment to return.
Caught you! Vasby is a quick study, yes? Let's examine this new gate. Dry. Zispo. Wait, what is this? Curious. This scrap of cloth. Vasby knows it well. It is part of a Srendar adept's habit. One of the old ones we don't wear anymore. Could an adept have been out here? Vasby does not think anyone wore it. The way it is torn, it looks like someone used it to dress a wound. Do you see the stains? This one smells blood, too. A warning, perhaps. Or a clue. Maybe. Vasby is no investigator, but finding something like this near the gate feels like a sign. We should find the person, if only to make sure they are not badly hurt, yes? We could start by searching around the columns that hold the aqueduct up. Someone gravely injured may have rested in the structure's shadow. No time to waste, Walker. Let's go. Certain. After the worst of the Nahatan flu had passed, Salujo and the others burned every scrap of cloth touched by the illness. Quilts, linens, and yes, even their habits. Nothing remained of them, aside from paintings in the cloisters. It appears that way, yes. Come, whoever this belonged to may need our help. Another shred of a habit? The blood seems more spotty. From a sword, maybe. Let's keep looking. The blood trail goes cold, yes? But what is that? A cameo? The face looks... This was not dropped by accident, Walker. There must be more to find. This is a nursery rhyme, isn't it? Like the one Vasby read every night as a kitten. Srendar's mercy. Please hurry, Walker! Swaddlecloth? Vasby recognizes that pattern. Come, let's keep looking, come! And we find a death coin lost, of course. Something that gleams to take to the sands behind the stars. We should talk. The bloody bandages, the cameo, and swaddlecloth? All these trinkets and mementos lead to a forbidden place, Bandar's litter. Vasby has not been totally honest with you, Walker. This one has a very personal stake in this business. The drought. It's because of me. That is why Vasby insisted on being the one to investigate. Every year, on this one's birthday, someone leaves a gift outside the cloisters. Gifts like the nursery rhyme, coin, and cameo we found, you see? Days after the aqueduct ran dry, The gift giver left a jug of cold, fresh water outside this one's door. It was a message, you see, for Vazby. Now we find these dressings and keepsakes, all leading to Bandar's litter. Our answers are there. Old ghosts haunt this place. Angry spirits that moan and howl curses in the night. Silujo always insisted we stay away. I hate to disobey him, but we have no choice. The last sluice gate and the person we pursue are both inside. Are you prepared? Wait! Vazby saw someone! Why do they run? We do not mean them any harm. There they go. Is that the same one as before? Him.
Please, Vazby, beloved child. Finally, you have come home at last.
What? I don't. We only want to restore the water.
Water? No. You come for answers, child. Answers from ashes. Take her to our camp at the Bandar Gate. Kill the other and cleanse them in flame. Scouring fire will claim Sarindar's cradle soon enough.
Quickly! Over here! Silujo saw everything. We must save Vasby quickly, please! I may not be Vasby's father, but I feel a father's love for her. What parent would let their child wander the Kaj with a stranger? Silujo followed at a distance, but could not stop Vasby in time. The stricken cats took her deeper into the canyon. The flu. Time heals some wounds and causes others to fester. Sometimes even the greatest healer cannot see all ends. Forgive me. Silujo is an old cat. He rambles. We must go to the Bandar Gate to halt the flames and save my Vasby. There is a cavern deep within the litter. If memory serves, it ascends to the Bandar Gate. We will find the aqueduct blockage and the Vasby there. Come, we must hurry. Silujo will try to make these sick, scarred cats see reason. To cure a sickness, a healer must know the ailment's cause. Old hatreds are not so different. We lose time discussing this. Have faith that all will proceed as Srendar wishes. These sick, scarred, you see, we call them the stricken. After the Nahatan flu ravaged their bodies, the people of elsewhere cast them out. They came to Srendar's cradle once for healing, but the king's vizier would have put our adeptorium to the torch if he knew we harbored the sick. You should know the reason they hate us. It is my fault. They wish to burn our home because I cast them into Bandar's litter to die. Wait, Silujo must speak to you. Before we go further, we must speak. The Bandar Gate lies beyond that door. The Stricken's leader as well, Busby's true father. His love and sorrow has turned to hatred for me. Silujo has no illusions. Death waits for this one through this passage, for the actions of his past. Silujo does not fear this death if it will save Busby. Before it happens, though, this one must ask. You now know the story of Srendar's cradle, of the sick left to die. When this one is gone, Busby will have questions. What will you tell her? Silujo thanks you, Walker. Choosing who lives and who dies weighs on the soul, but as a healer and a leader, I must make hard decisions. If Silujo had to do it all over again, he would make the same choice. Now come, Busby waits. Busby, you are unharmed, yes?
No. My daughter is no longer yours to corrupt and dead.
Silujo, no! This is my fault. Srendar, forgive me. He breathes, but faintly. Busby will take him back to the cradle. My hands won't stop shaking. The Stricken's leader, Hulzar, wields horrible magic. He told me that the adepts took me from him. That they stole everything from him. He said his... Yes, he said he left me gifts so that I would not forget him. But seeing me grow closer to Silujo, closer to the Order, twisted his tail to the breaking point. He lured Busby here to Banda's litter. Now he plans to burn the Adeptorium. Please, Walker, if there is any way to spare Hulzar, have mercy. Busby knows he is mad, but to lose two fathers at once. Srendar, help me. This one is so lost. Moons. Why did Silujo come here? He must have known the Stricken would kill him. This one only needed saving because she disobeyed Silujo. He came here because of Busby. He dies because of Busby. This one knows. Hulza told me about how he and his wife, my mother, came to the cradle with a tiny Busby in their arms. He described the long march to Bandar's litter and the cold, moonless nights that followed. More suffering on my account. How could it not be Busby's fault? Had Hulza's wife not carried Busby in her womb, they never would have come to Srendar's cradle. Had Busby not sought to restore the water, Silujo would live. Please, just find Hulzar. Busby must work.
You think you can keep me from my vengeance?
Bounty.
Busby!
Busby. I'm sorry.
You return. Good. Busby already loses too much today. Silujo did not... Busby could not... He is gone. His soul wanders the sands behind the stars now. The other adepts mourn for him as Busby does, but they do not know the truth of his death or the cost of the water you restored. But you know. Busby knows. And it may be too much for her to bear. Busby loved this place. She idolized Silujo and the other healers. She prayed to Srendar for the strength and wisdom to serve as well as those who came before. But Srendar's cradle is a lie. My dream is a lie. What is Busby to do now? The people of elsewhere think that the adepts of the cradle worked miracles to stave off the flu. Now I see that they only hid the sick in the wilderness to let them die. How can this one just ignore that? How can I dedicate my life to such a place? Yes, this one will stay. But I will not lie about what happened here. Silujo made an impossible choice, but the people deserve to hear the truth. Thank you, Walker. We only just met, but you are the closest thing to family that Busby has left. Brothers, sisters, Busby must speak about Silujo's passing.